Celia, do you want to just begin or do you want to wait for other members? I only see the 5 of us.
I'm sorry. What did you say again, Amy? My apologies. Somebody called me at the same time.
Did you want to wait for other council members? I know we have Constance, Christy, Patricia, yourself, and myself.
Let's wait until, give it like another 2 minutes and then we'll move from there. Okay?
We don't have quorum, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, let's check it.
Co-President Sai, is anyone from the superintendent's office scheduled to give updates or anything? Because that we could do in the meantime.
Not today. It's a business meeting.
Okay. All right, so what I'm gonna suggest, since it is 6:43 now, that maybe at 6:45, give people 2 more minutes to get on, meeting council members. And then we can start with it. We can't, obviously, we cannot do adopting the agenda until we have 6 members, but we can at least start having the other discussions.
Constance, there's another individual of your name on it. Is that also from you?
Yes, as I explained earlier, I'm on the Chromebook and I'm on a phone, strictly for voting because I do not see the raise hand feature and other things on the Chromebook. And you made me a co-host, so it negates more things. Okay.
Yeah, there's a third one.
Constance, there's a
Joanne's
there's a third person. So if you share the link, whoever came in on the link appears as you until they change their screen name.
Oh, okay.
So that's what it is.
Oh,
So
yeah,
whoever came in
there is a
last
third.
as
Right.
On your
Right.
link.
Right.
Because
Okay.
when I came in, it appears as your screen name as well.
Right. Okay. And you changed it. Okay, because you used the link. Okay.
So anybody that uses
So-
that link has to change their name.
Okay. I would not know who it is.
So I can unmute. I can ask them to unmute.
Yeah. I'm sorry. The person who's in under my name. Could you unmute, please? I don't know who it is. I don't see them unmuting either.
No, they might have stepped away.
Mm-hmm. They might also not seen they're coming in under my name because I sent them the link. I sent them the link specifically to use the.
Yeah, but when you register for Zoom, if you share that link that you registered from,
Yeah.
meaning it
I was just sharing the passcode, and the rest. I didn't think they would use the actual, step in.
yeah, because once it has that there, people will use it and come on that way.
Okay.
That's happened on multiple, not just this meeting,
Yeah.
other councils, other meetings, it happens.
The Chromebook I'm speaking on and the other device that has no mic is the phone I'm on. Okay. So this person down here that just entered.
All right, so she can pin you. If she pins you, then she'll remember which one is you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. She may be a co-host.
Pin the two, because how it's apparent to me, it may not necessarily be apparent on somebody else's screen.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm.
Since we have Councilmember Jones, say the
Mhm.
it is 6:48.
Good evening, Councilmember Jones. We were waiting for other people. We're glad that you're here. Right now, it's just yourself, Co-President Tsai, myself, Ms. Montavon, and Ms. Jewett. I think we have 6, yeah?
Good evening. Real quick, I tried to, because I was going to try to log in on my laptop,
Mhm.
and it was not letting me put the meeting ID number in, because it seemed like it was linked to Teams. And I was like, why can't I get in on my computer? I was just going to log in using the code from when it says to share the notes, to look at the rest of the notes. I couldn't get in, so I had to go in through my phone, which is fine, but I just wanted to give you an FYI about it.
All right, and I don't know, I didn't set up the link, but I know that for interpretation, usually our interpreters are hooked to our Zoom via Teams. That's how they get on. They're never on Zoom. Well, they're on Zoom itself, but it's connected to Teams.
Okay.
So
All
that
right.
might be what's happening.
Okay, no problem.
But
Thank you.
Amy might be able to comment more on.
All
Okay.
right.
And
Thank
now we have a Councilmember Morales, so we have more. But go ahead, Amy.
Okay. Good evening, members in the community. We are beginning with our January 2023 business meeting. Happy New Year's to everyone. It is Wednesday, January the 4th, 2023. We are beginning at 6:50 p.m. this evening with the business meeting. We do have quorum, so we will begin to call to order and roll call. Recording Secretary Montavon, are you there and are you ready to take roll?
Yes.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone. I'm starting the roll call at 6:50 p.m. Ms. Amy Ming Tsai,
Present.
Mr. Craig Spencer, Mr. Shamel Lawrence, Ms. Christy Angel,
She's excused for the evening.
Ms. Christy Montavon, present, Mr. Angel Morales,
Present. Happy New Year, everyone.
Ms. Aisha Husbands,
She's excused for work.
Ms. Celia Green, Celia Green,
Sorry, I forgot to unmute. Present. Happy New Year, everyone.
Ms. Joanne Jones,
Present.
Ms. Constance Asiadu,
Here. Happy New Year, everyone.
and Ms. Patricia Jewett.
Present. Happy New Year, everybody.
Okay, we have 7 members present and we do have quorum.
The council member Spencer is excused for work, and I believe council member Lawrence will be joining us virtually, but will be late, I believe, so you
Okay.
probably jump in. We will need a council member to assist with appointment and timekeeping. Is there any council member who would like to do so? We love you, Councilmember Jones. Would you be able to do timekeeping?
Sure, I'll do it.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
No problem.
Does everyone have the agenda this evening? It was shared out today. If not, please let me know and I can share it out again. We will take a moment of silence for those that have lost their lives to the COVID or any situation that has happened, or family members or friends that have lost someone that they care for. So we will take a moment. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. We will begin with the motion to adopt agenda. Does any council members like to add or revisit any items that are not on the agenda this evening?
Yeah, I would like to add some items if possible.
Sure, go ahead, Co-President Green.
So one is a suggestion that we have a discussion around the suggestion for dates for the special meeting, because we were asked for a special meeting before we left. But did not, it was the holidays, it would have been hard to facilitate that. So I'd like to find out dates that council members on this call are amenable to.
Quick
Council,
question, do we have those members that requested the special meeting here?
I think maybe one. Constance has her hand up. Constance, go ahead. And we'll go back to us.
Okay, I just wanted to say that I did not find the agenda in my email, so if you could resend it to me so I can see it, to see what's on it. I'd appreciate it. Thank you.
Sure, I'll send it over now.
Okay, the other thing I was gonna say, ask if we could possibly postpone the AA vote and do that in the special meeting as well. So we can get that out the way for this month, if possible. Preferably before the 18th.
I'm sorry, you just said to postpone the AA for the
AA vote, yeah, if we can do that and do that within the special meeting, and hopefully the special meeting will be before the 18th. I'm hoping it's actually long before the 18th.
Anything else?
And yeah, protocol. I want to discuss some protocols. And last but not least, I have one other suggestion for the roll call list, that it be alphabetized, but we can discuss that further down. So, yeah. And Mr. Lawrence has joined us. So.
Any
All
other council members?
Now, Mr. Lawrence, if you just joined us, we're asking for any additions to the agenda before we adopt it.
I haven't had time to look at it, but I'm good. I'm good. I'm driving.
All right, thank you. Anyone else have anything to add to the agenda? All right, hearing none. Go ahead, Amy.
Okay, we will need a council member to motion to adopt the items addition to the
Yes.
agenda this evening.
Motion to adopt the motions, the items that were mentioned by Co-President Celia Green.
Thank you, Councilmember Jewett. Can I have a second, please?
I'll second.
Thank you, Councilmember Jude. Can we have a We have a motion put by Councilman Jewett and second by Councilmember Sudhu. Recording Secretary Montalban, may you please do a roll call?
Yes, I am doing the roll call vote now to adopt the agenda with the additional items added by Co-President Green. Ms. Amy Meng Tsai,
Yes.
Mr. Shamel Lawrence,
Abstain.
Ms. Christine Montavon, yes. Mr. Angel Morales,
Yes.
Ms. Joanne Jones,
Yes.
Ms. Celia Green,
I'm
Celia-
sorry. Yeah, I keep forgetting to unmute. Yes, yes, definitely.
and Ms. Constance Acedu,
Yes.
and Ms. Patricia Jewett.
Yes.
Okay, I have 7 votes for yes and 1 abstention. The motion has passed.
Thank you. We will go to our unfinished business that was from the previous 2 meetings ago that was not followed, that needed to be followed up. It is the review and the vote on the New York City School Bus Survey created by the Citywide Council for Special Education and Citywide Council for District 75. I'm not sure if members here, I know that we had discussed it at that point for the November meeting. Any members have seen the survey, have any feedbacks, reviewed it? I know Councilmember Spencer wanted to inquire more about the survey. And I know we have our busing chair, Mr. Lawrence here, who can give more on it.
Now you could go ahead and speak to it, Amy. I don't know where you left off at on it, so go ahead.
I don't know about the survey. All I know was shared out by our outreach chair, Christy Angel, on a survey, and that the survey was created by CCSC and CCD75. Any council members?
Co-president side, is it the purpose of discussing it for a vote in solidarity? Is it for something like, what is the purpose?
It's just, I guess it's just for just awareness of if everyone had seen the survey. I had saw it when it was shared out. I know the Citywide Council for Special Education has shared it out. And what stood out for me is there is a section that if there are parents who are interested to fill out their information, if they're considering for to produce their data for litigation from the survey, that was part of that survey as well. But I don't know the details. All I got was that the CCSC was creating with D75 committee, and just want to solidify that our council is in solidarity, like you said, of the survey. And if there's any feedback or if there's anything that we see that may pertain to our kids that would like to be on the survey, we could also work in partnership with the other council.
Okay.
Can I give some clarification? Nobody never contacted the busing committee, so I don't know what this is about them solidating with us. I seen this sent out. Okay, I will follow up. So can I make a motion that this be given to the busing committee to review and bring back an official report next month?
Get a second?
I second it.
So it was motioned by Mr. Lawrence, seconded by Ms. Jewett. Anyone opposed to the motion? Anyone abstaining from the motion?
I will need to abstain because this is not a survey that was created by the council. It was created what it states on the survey by both councils. So it's not necessary to have a motion, but I think we need to all see the survey and understand where is it going. And if it's with us as a council, we should all be aware of this and review it.
Sorry, but you put it on the agenda item. It was never given to the busing committee, which I am the chair. So I made a motion and I think that's reasonable. If you want to abstain, that's you. But I think the motion should go through.
That is fine, and I abstain.
Thank you.
All right, so there's one abstention. Is there any other discussion on this motion? Does anyone else object or abstain? All right, I'm not seeing any. So based on that, there's one abstention. And 1 second. 1, 2, 3, 4. So one abstention and 7 yeses. All right. Moving on to the next thing. Go ahead. 1 second. All right, so the next thing is SCA. So I'm gonna say that's capacity and utilization. So I'm gonna ask Ms. Sidu and Councilmember Sidu and Councilmember Lawrence to speak to that. Councilmember Sidu.
Had my hand up prior to you bringing up capacity and utilization. I just wanted to say, Councilmember Lawrence will be reporting back on this survey next month or the next calendar meeting. I just want to get clarity on that portion of it. Which one?
Yeah, give me to the next meeting. If I see I need, because I got to figure out what it is. So I'm going to reach out to Alan. So at the next
The calendar? The next
calendar.
business is next month. The calendar is this month. That's what I wanted to know. Which one do you
All
mean?
right. Bennett's. Let me
Okay,
report
so
to
it's
you.
in February. Okay, not a problem.
Mhm.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you, Councilmember Lawrence, for the clarity. Also,
All right.
you're still on. I just want capacity and utilization. There seems, I thought, my understanding when I was made co-chair of the committee is capacity and utilization handles the capital plan. I thought that's what was supposed to be done. I requested emails that have been sent from SCA that I have not seen as one of the co-chairs. I don't know if the others have seen it. I spoke to Mr. Spencer. He has not seen the emails also to be forwarded to myself, him, and Mr. Lawrence as the ones who are chairing this committee so that we can move forward with the capital plan. I just wanted to understand why the emails haven't been received. And also, I thought that this particular committee handled everything for the capital plan, including contact and other things. And it seems to be everything is being handled by co-president size. So I want to understand, does the committee handle the capital plan or do the co-chairs handle it, or a specific co-chair do all the items for the capital plan? I just want some clarity on this because receiving information and partial information is not helpful. There were some things that we had planned on requesting that couldn't be requested because we never saw the initial notice. So I just, I want some clarity on that. Before, there is nothing to report because the committee is not handling it. We haven't had any public hearings. We haven't had to go to any meetings for any school SLTs. If there have been some, I don't know about them. So, just want to know exactly what's going
To
on.
give you your answer, Councilmember Sudu, they were sent several times If not, I can go back and forward it to you.
I'm not talking about the request, Co-President Green, if that's what you're talking about. I'm talking about the communications between the council and SCA, because I know they always contact the council email directly. They do not contact individuals when they initially start. And I have never seen that email. I spoke to Mr. Spencer.
I
Yeah.
will forward them to you again, but they were shared with
Okay.
all the members on the council. Maybe you have overlooked it. It also was sent to the capacity Gmail that Mr. Spencer has.
Mhm.
The council, in the time period that I've been on the council, yes, the D75 council as a whole has been doing the capital plan project together.
Mhm.
The submissions from all the requests from principals were all forwarded to all council members. They were also forwarded in an attachment with all the requests. There are over 36 of them so far from today, from December 5th till today, as of today. And all of the joint, there was a joint public hearing for the Queens proposal, and then there's an upcoming joint public hearing for the Manhattan proposal that was also forwarded. Also, a calendar invite was shared with yourself and the whole council. I can forward that again, and it's also on the PEP as well. That was all forwarded to all members.
Those I've received. It's still, I'll go back to, I don't know, Mr. Lawrence, have you received anything that came directly from SCA concerning the capital plan in your emails?
Well, I think to your point, just to narrow it down in a nutshell, I think that even with the busing committee, the people who have been chosen to lead these committees are not able to do their work because it seems to be like all communications being done by one. And no, I have not received anything. And I spoke to Mr. Spencer and he also said the same thing. We was kind of in the dark with it, you know, and from the time I know, since everybody like to reference back to the past year, we used to receive it and we would pass it on to the capacity chair to do what they had to do. They was in charge of setting up the meeting and then all that stuff. The co-president would just make sure the report and the final decision was submitted. That's all we did. We didn't have our hands in it that much.
Okay.
That's just the past 4 years.
Right. Okay. I'm because my understanding, and I am not talking about the notices you sent out recently. I did see them, and the invite to all the council members. I know the notices, the requests have been sent to everyone. There are a few that you don't have the attachments on, and I can go back to my list and let you know which ones I didn't receive the attachment, which is the actual school one. Currently, Councilmember Spencer has the email access, which he will be sharing with myself and Mr. Lawrence, so we can go in and double check everything and see what we've received is actually what's also in the inbox in case something's kicked out of my email or his email. We will do that. But as I said, the communications as far as setting up the presentation, I understand may come from the co-chairs, but even the public hearing. I mean, the information is given to us after it's done, so it's not something that's shared with us, so we're aware of what's going to happen or what's being presented to SCA. Yeah.
The public hearing was not scheduled. It was up to, I believe, you were scheduling it.
I did.
With the council and the district office. The presentation was, they were supposed to come today.
Mm-hmm.
Business meeting. They had, if you go back inbox, I can send it again.
You don't have to. I know about the presentation part and being today.
That's
and
that was the only thing that they had to reschedule several times. But the public hearing, that was what you guys.
It's not scheduled, so you have not put in a request for a date.
No.
Okay. All right. I want to be aware of it because I also know the SCA does sometimes just deal with the co-president or the president of the council. If there's an AA, there's never that issue. I know that. because they usually field everything. But yeah, as I said, the primary correspondence and the sheet, I have never seen the sheet as an attachment in any email for the responses to be sent in on. I have not received that once. Have you received it, Mr. Lawrence, in any email that was sent concerning SCA or the capital plan? And that is an initial contact to the D75 email from capital plan. It will be a whole email from whoever's doing it. I know that stuff would come from Eric Marti. I haven't seen anything that has him on any of the emails you have sent. I've seen principles. That's all I've seen, and their submissions. As I said, the other part we're not doing. That's why I want to know clearly what is going on, so that if you're handling it, we're not having too many, cooks in the kitchen at one time, because that's not good for us, and it's not good for that department to have too many people contacting them from different venues without being coordinated on the same thing. So maybe yourself, me, Co-President Green, Mr. Lawrence, and Mr. Spencer, we need to do some emails to at least decide who is contacting them initially and getting the information. Thank you.
Can I jump in and say something? One, the time frame for SCA is always rushed and crunched, period. Like every year, without doubt, same thing. Usually it is sometime between late November and early December when they make contact with the council, with not just this council, with all the councils, and start scheduling dates for both the presentation and for the public hearing that has to be held by every council, except for, I think the only council that doesn't hold a public hearing is CCSE. No, actually two of them. I think it's CCSE and ALS, because they're not tied to specific schools or specific districts. But other than that, our time frame is as follows right now. We haven't had the presentation yet. Hopefully we can have it. I don't mind having the presentation at the next meeting or something like that. I think they reached out and said that they can do the next meeting. My only issue is I don't want to have the presentation the next meeting, which is fine, but then have to do the public hearing the next meeting, and then also have to have a meeting on top of that for calendar. That would be an extremely long meeting. The presentation is fine as part of a calendar meeting, because usually they don't take more than whatever time you allot them. If you allot them 30 minutes, they'll do 30 minutes or something. But I do think to have that and then have a public hearing that potentially could be at least 2 hours on top of a meeting is a lot. So I think maybe we should think about separating out another date for our actual calendar meeting if indeed SCA is going to come on the 18th. Because by the time they finish the presentation, we can also have them here for the public hearing. It's like one shot, not having to go back and forth with them and email them. Go ahead, Constance.
Sorry, two devices. I just wanted to say, you're suggesting a meeting date for the public hearing? Separated.
What I'm saying is based on the little contact I had with SCA, right, over the vacation, like towards the end of the vacation and stuff. They normally, like I said, the timelines are always the same, but for this specific purpose, we're just talking about the presentation, which could have been today, but it's going to be probably on the 18th. And the public hearing. If they can come on the 18th, it makes sense to try to get the public hearing in the same day. But that would also mean, like I said, it would mean having a much longer meeting. And I don't think anybody here wants to have a 4 or 5 hour meeting. So it might be best to have them present at whatever they're presenting, and also let's do the public hearing the same day. But I'm not going to agree to then turn it around and having the calendar meeting too.
I do want to say that we have to have in our top 5 choices in by the 13th. We can delay it and send it in later, but all they require is our top 5 by the 13th. Any additional can be sent afterwards. So
It can be sent afterwards, but there's still a cutoff. It can be sent up to April.
Sure. April, right?
Because they amend by a certain time. And once
Mhm.
they amend, that's it. There's nothing else that can come in. So,
But
so the others we have leeway with, but the top 5 must be submitted by the 13th. So hopefully maybe we can have make that part of a special meeting too. Because people did ask for a special
and I
meeting.
also want to ask Co-President Green, since I know the email is sent to the inbox and it's to usually the president, and since we have co-presidents be to the two of you, do you have that initial contact from SCA so you can forward it to us? Because I have not received it.
I
Am
do
I-
not have the initial contact
Mr.
with SCA.
Lawrence?
That's why I reached out to SCA. Because I don't have the initial contact for SCA, but I do have
You're
SCA's
not aware,
information
I'm sorry,
from
I'm
being
sorry,
on
I don't
previous
want,
boards.
I'm sorry, don't want to interrupt you. You did not, the email was not shared with you either, because I know that they strictly contact president, co-presidents, and both of you are supposed to have access to that
No,
email.
the emails that were shared with me are the emails are the submissions coming in. Just like everybody else is getting the submissions coming in. But the initial email from SCA, no.
But that would have come into the inbox. Aren't
Yeah, and
you?
as I said, I'm still not in the inbox because the email it's a whole longer conversation.
Okay.
Time and expedience. The email that was created that we're supposed to share, someone put an authentication in it. I can't get back into that specific for that purpose. Meaning that the email that DIIT or whoever would send to for me to get into the inbox.
Mhm.
And since an authentication, just like if you do an authentication in Zoom, nobody without an authenticated Zoom can get in. It works that way with inboxes too.
So you're saying now, this is January 4th, you still have not been in this inbox once after all this back and forth we've done on this?
Nope.
You still don't have access
But
to it.
Mr. I'm not trying to cut you, but Mr. Lawrence.
Okay, all right,
I
sorry.
don't know if it's in relation to the same thing or not. Mr.
Yeah,
Lawrence?
it definitely is, because I wanted to ask the same question, because we put a motion and we asked that yourself, Ms. Baltimore, you all be granted access to this. And if you're saying, and it's now halfway through the term, that you ain't got access to that's a problem. So I guess the question is, do you have access to the council email, the D75@schools.gov?
Not through the email that I use for authentication.
So you're
Not through
not
the one,
seeing
not
that,
through the shared email that I
but
use.
can you, like, if you logged into Outlook, can you see the D75 account? Like, can you access the email?
No, not at this time.
And what about you, Ms. Baltimore? I hate that take you in, but you was one.
Yeah, I have access. I was given, my authenticator is my personal phone number. So I'm not sure why Celia's authenticator can't be changed to something she has access to. Because it seems like the reason she can't access the email is because the authentication is hooked up to an email address she doesn't have access to. So the PIN code goes to an email that she can't access when she signs in. So it could possibly be changed to maybe a different email for her or a phone number, like mine was set up to mine. I don't know on the IT end, but that seems like
But
the
who
solution.
yeah, and then you put in a request for that, Miss Green. I'm just trying to understand that. Then you do all of that.
Yeah. We're
This
still
doesn't
working.
make sense. Yeah, but it's
But I will say this to update and stuff. I did receive notice recently from Amy, and I think Miss Maltavon and Miss Angel also got the same notification that the passcode, because every couple of months you have to update the password or the passcode for the inbox. So I did receive that notification that the passcode was updated.
okay. So was that passcode included in that email?
Yes, the
Well,
passcode was included in the email. And the passcode went to me, Miss Montavon, Miss Angel, and Miss Sai.
I don't want to talk out of turn, but I see some hangs, but I just got to ask a question. When did we, I know that we agreed for Miss Multiple and the co-presidents is a given. So how did Christy Angel get on there? And if that's the case, why Miss Jewett as the vice president, who's second in command, ain't on there? So I'm just curious, why would Christy Angel given the password?
I don't know. I honestly don't know, but Amy has her hands up next and then Constance, so I'm gonna let them speak and then give you your turn.
To answer Councilmember Lawrence's question on why Miss Angel has a password is because she has access as the outreach chair, as the council has given her the access to the social media. The social media and the download that she need to access the Zoom for this council will require that passcode.
Yeah, we never did that last year, but this is something new. I see all this tax stuff is new. People making up their own rules, but thank you.
But as to Mr. Lawrence's point, Councilmember Lawrence's point, we did not vote on that. And that could be easily remedied because, you know, you could either send it to her for her to access and stuff, because no one is saying that she doesn't need access. She does. But you can send it to her for her to access, meaning the Zooms once they're converted, once they convert over. You know, you can send them in an email.
What? Oh, Constant, I don't want to cut you off. So go ahead. I'll wait till after you. I
Constance,
got a
go ahead.
motion.
Sorry.
No. I'm sorry, Mr. Lawrence. You're not cutting me off. I just want to understand what's being said here.
Mhm.
What we're saying is that the inbox for the emails,
Mhm.
the platform which we're on now, and all
Yes.
that,
Mhm.
okay, are not just being accessed by the co-presidents and Ms. Montalban, who's the secretary, that we voted in to just do the access the inbox. And but Councilmember Angel also has access to this. And this was never, I don't remember authorizing any such thing. So I'd like to know when the vote was, because I believe co-president Tsai just said that we authorized it. If that's the case, then we all just should have access to the inbox and the platform and all that. Okay? Because
I second that motion.
I wasn't aware of any of this. You know, I don't even understand what's going on. There's one saying she can't have access, the other saying she can, and this is getting very confusing. Okay, so I would really like the co-presidents to sit down, clarify everything for me. I don't know about any other council member. Clarify for me exactly what is going on, who has access to what. So we all on the same, we're on the same page, please. Okay, that's what I wanted to say, because this is getting, yeah, okay. And I will stop there. Thank you.
So the social media that Miss Angel manages, she needs access to the D75 council. I don't know, there's a connection between the D75 council's email address and accessing it with the social medias, and the when she's putting down downloading the recording from the Zoom, she had difficulties opening the recording from, I guess, the forward email. So she just wanted direct access to the Zoom. In order, the inbox for the council's email and the Zoom is the same passcode. And that's something that I think needs to go directly to DIIT or to Mr. Jose Gonzalez here from FACE.
Can I speak, Ms. Green?
Go ahead, Mr. Lawrence.
I hear what you're saying, but NAMI in the past, the practice was that each committee, the outreach had a Gmail, as you could remember, because you served with Ms. Cadona. And that's how the whole thing went down with our Facebook apparently got hacked. But that's another discussion. They never used the D75 as tools for any social media. All of this, regardless, should have been brought back to the council, okay? And a vote should have been done, because all committees work for the council. It's part of the council. That was not done. It's out of protocol, but we halfway through the election, through the term now. So we might well just go along with it. But I will make a motion that because I'm sick and tired of asking for things for my committee. So I would make a motion that all council members get access to that email address now, because the communication is not being shared. People are speaking for committees that should not be speaking for it. Everybody refer back to the 4 years. We never done this in 4 years. Myself nor Mr. Spencer. We used to forward to the Egypt Visible who ran the committees and let them do their job. I'm getting stuff that people are responding to, speaking on behalf of me as the busing chair, and I'm being pitted in like I'm sloppy second. Who said that's where I wanted to send it? I've been talking about this since August. Nothing have been done. Okay, so now I'm putting a motion that every single council member, all of us, get access to that email address. Therefore, we can see what's going on. That's my motion. Enough is
I
enough.
second it.
Miss-
I
a
second it.
second, Ms.
I
Jones,
second
can
it.
you give this portion at least 10 more minutes only because we're apparently gonna have to do a vote and all that too. So thank you. All right, so Mr. Lawrence, before you go, Pat, Miss Jewett, you were just had your hand up, motion or?
Oh yeah, I had my hand up, but I was just gonna basically be the amen committee because this has been going on too long. You know, first of all, I'm insulted on behalf of you because I know that you know how to function and operate an inbox. I know you know how to do emails. I know you have sat on numerous councils and without an AA and done what needed to be done. The fact that you have not been able to access this, I take it personal. And then when I think about Mr. Lawrence and his efforts with busing, when I have brought specific problems to him in the past on behalf of other parents, and where he's been put right now, it's just it's unacceptable. It's unacceptable. Everybody needs to have access at this point because communications is not. It's not transparent. It's not like it should be. So I was just going to be an amen committee. That's all. Thank you for hearing me.
Thank you. So, Mr. Lawrence, your motion, sorry, let me let Amy go and then we'll go with the motion. Amy, go ahead.
Okay. I am gonna dismiss myself this evening because it seemed like we are not conducting business of the council. We are conducting personal matters against each other. Miss Co-President Celia Green and Recording Secretary Montavon have both access to the council's inbox. They have access to the Zoom. The question should be, how are you gonna get the access to get into the inbox? Especially if it's available. Everyone is pointing fingers at Co-President Tsai, and everybody now wants to have access to inbox. Feel free to, but all that information has been shared and has been shared twice, maybe 3 times. I have no problem sharing it again and forwarding it, but there is a lot of emails and people need to take the time to look. I have no problem sharing it again, but I have given Ms. Co-President Green the host for the Zoom, and I will dismiss my own self this evening. So I appreciate the time that we have so far, and I would say good evening, good night.
Amy. Ms. Tsai.
Can I say
do
something?
not-
No.
That's not the answer.
typical her. That's the typical her. And that's the
And
person
that's not
that
the
you
answer.
ran
That's not
with.
the answer.
So this is what you call leadership. She can't take the fire. She's doing something wrong. It's there in black and white. We could put the evidence out there. It's not nobody picking on her. She's doing wrong. But this is rather than stepping up as a leader and saying, you know what, let's address this. This has been talked about on every platform, every meeting. Okay, it's not no lie. I can send you all emails, not just for busing, but for capacity. That's why we didn't have the thing tonight, because she's responding to it. Everything have her name to it. Amy, co-president. That's not the way to do. I'm sorry. So she want to dismiss herself. She's neglecting her job as a leader, and that could be the ground for removal out of her position. I'm sorry. That's the 3rd time she did that. So as a co-president, as her leader, you need to have a conversation with her, and she needs to get back on the meeting and face this, because it's not going to go nowhere.
I'm
Miss
sorry.
Jewett, you still have your hand up. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm not
Yeah,
cutting
I
you off,
just
Mr.
wanted to
Lawrence.
say, right. I'm sorry. I just wanted to say running away or leaving is never the answer. You know, and no one is picking on anybody, but it's obvious that this situation is not resolved. I don't think Miss Green is making up that she can't accessing it for a moment and then going back and then you can't access it 2 days later. That's not access. That's not transparency. You know what's being inferred here. And it's just the committee is supposed to function as the committee, and the committee is supposed to be in charge of whatever the committee is in charge of. That's not to be supposed to be circumvented by either co-president or any president. So there's things that are happening that should not be happening. We just have some things that we really need to address. Code and
Well,
conduct.
one of the
What we're
things I
supposed
want
to be
to address
doing.
is protocol, because talking about that, it's that we as presidents, as co-presidents, are ex officio members, and people don't always understand. Ex officio members don't take over and don't co-chair and don't chair anything. We are participants in any and all committees that we feel to be participants in, but we don't share anything. We don't usurp anything. We don't anything. We just are there for support. And if you need guidance in some way and stuff, and that's about it in terms of the committee work and stuff, because it would be a conflict of interest for us to be president and or co-presidents and also run the committees. It doesn't work that way. So on that note, is there still a motion on the floor, or is this just, we're gonna move this discussion to another time and continue with the
No,
agenda?
I think at this point, she have showed her colors, what she really is about. I think at this point, the motion needs to still stand, because if that's what you do, you run off when somebody says something that's happening, then, and she says she revokes. That's not what we asking. All we asking for is transparency, and let us do our job as the committee, just like you guys do your thing. People need to learn how to stay in their lane. Bottom line.
Okay, so what is the motion and who's putting up the motion?
I put up the motion that
And I second it.
I put up the motion and it went clear as day. All CCD75, which include myself, Shamel Lawrence, Patricia Jewett, Constance Sidu, Celia Green, Christy Marklemore, Christy Angel, Joanne Zone, Alicia Husband, Angel Moraes, and Amy and Spencer have access to this thing for the remainder of the term, because the lack of transparency. Bottom line.
Yep.
I'm writing, so just give me a second.
If me and Mr. Spencer did this, we would have been talked about all in Mexico.
All right, so it is motioned by Mr. Lawrence that all CCD75 council members should have access to the CCD75 inbox. 1 second. D75 councils at schools.nyc.gov. For the remainder of this term.
The email only, not the Zoom. Email. Let me just be clear. Email,
Or
not the Zoom.
email only. Sorry, email. For email purposes only. All right, and it's seconded by Patricia Jewett. Pat?
Yes.
Okay, and it's seconded by you.
Yep.
All right. Okay, all right, so Ms. Montalban, did you get the, do you need me to read back the motion?
No, I
Or-
have it.
Okay. So, can we get a roll call vote, please?
Okay, we are voting on the motion that all citywide council for District 75 council members be granted access to the council email address for the remainder of the term.
For email purposes only.
Mr. Shamel Lawrence,
Yes.
Ms. Christine Montavon, yes. Mr. Angel Morales,
Yes.
Ms. Joanne Jones,
Abstain.
Ms. Celia Green,
Yes.
Ms. Constance Asiadu,
Yes.
and Ms. Patricia Jewett.
Yes.
Okay, we have 6 votes for yes and 1 abstention. The motion has passed.
Thank you.
Miss Green, can I just have a moment? Jose, is someone here? Can we rectify and make sure that this is executed? Because the last motion we did, obviously it wasn't carried out. So I want to make sure we leave here tonight and face representative know that he could give access to all the council members. It was voted on.
Mr. Gonzalez, I think he might be away from his,
No, I'm here. I just
Okay.
want, good evening, everyone. Mr. Councilmember Lawrence, can you specify your, you have a questions or?
No. It wasn't a
Okay.
question. We just had a vote. Because we have some transparency issues going on. So to make that better for the remainder of the year, it was this voted by 6 members, 1 abstention, that every CCD75 member can now have access to the Outlook for D75. So whoever got the password, they could share that out in an email to all the council members. For the council members to watch the email box.
Understood. So one clarification, the last time when the council make a motion and pass that for I think Celia to have also access to the inbox, I schedule, and I know that Celia reached out to me and also just to see if DITT can have some kind of responding or process to do that. So I reached out to them and they communicated with me, which is I then schedule a meeting with both of co-president sides and also Celia Green, and I walked them through the process of authentication and because of what is it called, because of privacy, you know, I didn't want to be too deep engaged in the process of knowing exactly what is the password and things like that. I guide them on how to do the identification for adding another person, which is in this case would have been Councilmember Green, and I let that space to go through. Since there, I know that this issue has been raised, but I also shared previously with Councilmember Green if she needed any support in regards to, you know, making sure that this process, because I know this was a motion that passed in the council, I just want to make sure also that we, here in phase, we support that process. So if the council now, and I know that Celia, Councilmember Green, my apologies, Councilmember Green, has and know the process of our authentication. If another council, I think Councilmember Montalva, she has access. She also in Councilmember Sai, they can also help Celia, Councilmember Green, to gain access. If you need and the council needs support for this, I will be here to support that process also. And you, but anyone can feel free just to reach out to me, and I will facilitate that also if that is needed.
Before you can, I want to say this. We had voted. We were supposed to come up with a shared something, a shared phone number or an email. I came up with a shared email. This way, it would be on her phone or my phone or whatever she wants, device she so wished to share it on. Right. So the DIIT, because the whole point for them is to share it one time to one email or to one phone number or something. When I created the email, I sent it to you. If you remember, I think it was back in October. I sent it to you, early October too, to you and to Amy and stuff. Amy did not get back to me for like a week or so, but she, like everybody else, she has kids and things to do, so I get it. But when she did get back to me, she said, well, this just looks like another thing I have to manage. And that was the end of the conversation. There was no, well, let's get this to DIIT. There was no whatever. And I don't want to be the person who has to force somebody into doing something at that point, because we had decided as a council, we were going to do X, Y, and Z. Everything that the council asked, I followed. We decided that we would come up with a shared email. This way, she doesn't have to spend time calling me to tell me the number or whatever access code, and vice versa. We get it at the same time. It pings both people. And like I said, since then it hasn't happened. I went to go back into that same shared box. And once I went to go back, there was an authenticator on it. I couldn't even get back in. So someone would have to have access to it to do that, to put the authenticator on it.
Miss Green, can I just say, I think that we moving in a direction. I think that we came up with a solution. And I think, we get the point. We know what's happening here. Jose, we thank you for all you did, but I think we should move on. I mean, we gave the right solution here. Okay, so I expect to see an email first thing tomorrow morning with the login information and right to all of us. That's the bottom line. There's no need to go about what happened in the past. Let's move to the next item on the agenda. This is my suggestion.
All right.
Thank you.
Ms. Foote, you still had your hand up.
No, I'm gonna try to put my hand down now. Thank you, guys.
All right. All right, the next item up is the vote for the applicants for the position of administrative assistant. But as you heard, when the motion was made when we adopted the agenda to hopefully postpone that vote, but I would like that specific item to be part of the special meeting that was asked for. So if anyone has suggestions for dates for the special meeting, it would be greatly appreciated. Constance, go ahead.
I just want to say that we have 4 young women, just for the council's sake, because we were supposed to handle it our last business meeting, at least come to some conclusion at some point. And I know right now, quite a few council members are not on, so will not participate in the vote. But we do have 4 young women we kept waiting prior, who we interviewed starting in September, and then we had the additional 5. So we are keeping some people waiting. Over the holidays, I did contact all of them by phone. I'm sorry if I do correspondence with them. I will email the whole council, but I felt the phone was much quicker because we did not touch on it at all during the meeting like we were supposed to last time. So I had nothing really to email them about. I just told them we're meeting today. So I really need some definitive information to give them. I think that would just be polite. It would just be considerate at this point, and we actually have to do this. Okay, as a council, let's just pick a date that everyone can make, if it's for an hour or 30 minutes, however people feel they need, and let's just decide. Everyone has viewed the videos you have sent, I assume. I don't know, okay, but they were sent out, so everybody has the opportunity of seeing all of them in person, as was requested and was considered a problem that they weren't getting it. So please, just for the candidate's sake and for our sake, because we get an AA, a lot of other things will not occur, okay? And for the next council also, there won't be those issues. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember. Councilmember Lawrence, you have your hands up.
Yeah, I totally agree with Constant. We had those 4 girls beforehand waiting too long. And at this point now, I'm just ready to vote tonight because it's not fair to them, okay? Because we can't get our acts together as a council, that they should be delayed. So I think that, we need to make a decision tonight because that's unfair that those girls have been waiting for 4 years. And despite them waiting that long, that shows something. So I'm in favor of voting tonight. I understand a lot of council members ain't here, but who says at the next meeting, the special meeting, everybody's going to be able to be there. So I said, work with what we have tonight and see where it lines, because it's crazy that we still dealing with this.
Okay, so you want to put a motion up?
Yes, I put a motion up because, like Constance said, everybody got access and had a chance to view. So I put a motion up that we move forward tonight with the candidates that was picked, and we make it down to, I don't know, are we going to go for the 1? Are we going to go for 2? Just to give us some leeway to show that we are possession. I don't know how y'all want to do it, but it's a conversation that we could have as a council. Do we want to just make a vote tonight for the 1, or do we want to at least vote 2? Therefore, it shows that we are making progress. So I would ask for a discussion before I put
I'm
a
going to
motion.
suggest that we vote at least 4 names in, and the reason for that is because when we did the vote at CCHS, or after 2 years of not having an AA, as you vote, because it's the same pool, everybody looks at the same pool. There's still at least 8 other councils looking for AAs, even though some have gotten hired. And some of the people we actually interviewed got hired by those same councils. So I'm saying if you have 4, one of the 4 hopefully doesn't get hired by somebody else.
Okay, so that's easy. So I make a motion that we accept the 3 that was interviewed in September, plus the candidate that came from Miss Markford tonight. That's the 4. So that's my motion. Thank you. I get a second.
Okay, which I'm confused a little bit.
The 3, the initial 3 that we had that's been waiting. The initial 3, I don't have their names in front of me, but I know it was the Janelle and.
No, Ms. Lawrence, we cannot give their names out.
Yeah, okay, so.
Okay, please.
So,
And it's
So
I'm
why don't
saying-
you just say we will narrow it to
4.
in the motion, say we will narrow it to no more than 4 names.
Well, that's what I said. I said the 3 that we had did in September, we know who they are. And I said the one that was one of Miss Baltimore candidate, the last one. So
Yeah,
that's
we had
4.
Yeah, but we did 4 in September, not 3. We did 4.
No,
So
what
that's what
I'm
I'm saying.
saying is
Mhm.
the original 3 that we had narrowed to, right? After we had did the voting thing, we narrowed it down to 3. So we have those 3 there, or whatever, those 3. And then we had Miss 2 council member who had 2 other candidates. So I'm saying the candidate that Miss Baltimore had suggested, we know their name. So that's 4.
Okay. I think we should take it from the 9 that were in person and narrow it down to 4. I think let's leave it that broad and then we'll discuss it in the special meeting. Whatever. So
When you said 9, you
it's
saying
9
take all of
altogether.
them?
There's 9
All
interviews
of
that
them?
are up altogether. So let's narrow those 9 down to 4 people. This way it's a entire council. It's not, because we can't, although we can have suggestions in a committee meeting, we can't get rid of people in a committee. So Constance has her hand up though. Go ahead.
I just want to say, if we're going to discuss who, what, and where, so everyone knows who we're speaking about, we actually have to go into executive session with the council members to do this. Okay,
Okay.
so people are aware of who these people are by name, because, you know, I know most people know who were the 4 initial. I hope they may not. And most people know, and I really don't know what the 4th candidate, Mr. Lawrence, was talking about, came from Ms. Montavon. I have to go back to my notes, which are not in front of me at the moment. I just have the candidates. Okay, sorry. List.
All right. So Mr. Lawrence.
So I make a motion.
Is your
that we go
motion
into
to-
a executive session?
Can we
Therefore,
do that
could
at the
discuss it.
end? Can we do that? Can you motion that, but for it to be at the end of our session so that people don't have to wait through us going into that and coming back out?
Yeah, sure. That makes sense, I guess. Yeah.
Okay, so we'll be moving effectively the vote on the AA, or narrowing down the AA candidates, sorry, to the last thing on the agenda before adjournment, because it requires executive session. All right, so Ms. Montavon, were you able to capture the motion? It was motioned by Mr. Lawrence. Who's seconding it?
I'm sorry, I'm confused. I thought we were waiting till we were in executive session to do that.
No, but the motion can be now, because the motion is saying that we're gonna do it towards the end of the session.
I'm still confused.
No. Ms. Baltimore, what we motioning on now is to have an executive session, not to vote on the candidate. So the motion is to have an executive session at the end of tonight's meeting. What's up, man?
I think we're just supposed to do that when we go to the executive session. So we have to do it all over again to go to the session. So I don't.
No.
think we
Yeah,
need
she was
to-
can do
asking
it
for a roll
before.
call. Yeah.
Reason I'm asking for it to be at the end is because we still have stuff on the agenda that we need to get through. And I do not think that we should put an audience through that of waiting for us for a half an hour or something, or 45, or how many long we're gonna be in there and stuff. And we still, and so we don't have an unfinished agenda again. I'd like it to be at the end, towards, before we adjourn.
Yeah, I understand. I'm just saying, you don't need to make I believe you do not need to make a motion to go to an executive session at the end of the meeting. You can just motion for the executive session at the end of the meeting. We don't have to vote or do any of that now, I believe. Constance, can you confirm? But I'm believing we just have to motion to go to the executive session at the end.
Right. What Ms. Montavon is saying, executive session can be asked by any member at any time, and we go to a vote to determine whether or not we're going to do it. She's saying we don't have to make a motion. At the end of the meeting, anyone can request we go into executive session and state why to discuss the AA candidates. That's what you want, Mr. Lawrence, so we can narrow it down, correct?
Correct. That's what I
Okay,
was
so
saying.
she's just saying we don't have to motion it. We can actually just perform the act. When we come to the end of our agenda, someone can request executive session to discuss the AA candidates. It's anything any member can do, and we have to vote on that to do
All
it.
right.
Okay, that's all she's
Okay,
saying.
I was just saying that now because we have quorum now. We don't know that you have quorum at the end. But it's okay.
But see, the thing is, if we don't have quorum at the end, we still cannot go into
Go
it.
into executive session.
So it's a moot point.
Good point.
Yeah, okay, so you know, all right? But Ms. Montavon is absolutely right. But remember, the motion was put on the floor that we remove that item from the agenda, so it has to be put back on. And okay? Unless it's just a member just raising a hand and requesting they need a discussion now, which they can do. Okay.
Okay, so Mr. Lawrence, you can do that towards the end of the session, please.
All right.
Okay, so we're up to the bylaws revision and Article X. So, Constance?
Co-President Green, do you have the item so you can read it? Read it, because I told you I'm very bad on the screen. Otherwise, I have to send it to you.
All right, could you send it to me again? 1 second.
I'll send it to your emails.
Yeah.
Is that fine? I'll do that now. Sorry about that. Sorry, everyone. Just bear with us. Is there anything else we can move forward on while you're waiting? for
Okay, all right, so while we wait, discussion on the nomination of co-chairs for the committee on the legislative committee. So for the legislative committee, there were 2 council members that were interested in participating as co-chairs, Lawrence and Miss Jewett. So, is there any discussion? Okay, so, Mr. Lawrence, Ms. Jewett, I don't hear any discussion or any objections or anything else. So you are the co-chairs of the legislative committee. Because we were supposed to do that about, I don't know, 3 months ago or whatever. Lost in the sauce, I guess.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity. And I work with Ms. Stewart. I have a motion I want to also put about making Constant Asidu the parliamentary for the council. We never appointed nobody. And that was on the agenda quite a few times. So I like to make a motion that she be officially appointed tonight as the parliamentary for this council.
Well, you gotta ask her. Oh, true. Well, you gotta ask her if she accepts the nomination.
Oh, Constant, do you accept it? Sorry about that.
Well, the only thing is, I have to state this, Mr. Lawrence, in the bylaws, it states the requirements for parliamentarian. I actually don't suit it because I have not taken the parliamentary classes required. So you would have to waive that in order to make me parliamentarian for the council. Okay.
Well,
and I know some people are under the impression I am, but I'm not, have not been because it was not reappointed. Okay.
So
you'd have to waive the bylaw requirements for me to be, if you read.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. I don't know when that got in there, but okay.
No, it's in there. I can, she's actually gonna go. Yeah.
I believe you. So, my motion tonight is if Ms. Constance do accept, I make a motion that we waive the, what the bylaw says for this term and let her proceed as the parliamentary like she have done in the past. May I get a second?
Second.
Mm-hmm.
You need to vote.
A second nominated by. Miss Montalban, did you get all of the motion or do you need me to read it?
I have to waive the bylaws requirements for parliamentarian and have council member Asidu serve the rest of the term as parliamentarian. Is that correct?
Correct.
Yeah, correct. And it's only for this year, Miss Montalban.
Only until June. So,
correct.
Mm-hmm.
And who seconded the motion? I'm sorry, who was the second?
Miss Jewett.
So we are voting to waive the bylaws requirement for parliamentarian and have Councilmember Asidu serve out the term until June as parliamentarian.
Correct.
Okay, I'm starting the roll call vote now. Mr. Shamel Lawrence?
Yes.
Ms. Christy Montalban? Yes. Mr. Angel Morales?
Yes.
Ms. Joanne Jones? Ms. Jones?
Abstain.
Oh, wow.
Ms. Celia Green?
Yes.
Constance Adu,
Yes.
and Ms. Patricia Jewett.
Yes.
Okay, I have
Oh.
6 votes of yes and 1 abstention. The motion has passed.
Congratulations, Constant. I know you do a good job.
Thank you, Councilmember Lawrence. Thank you, council members.
Mrs. CDU. One
Did you-
second. Let me see what else is there.
Okay, do you see it? Co-President Green, I sent it to your emails.
Yes, I do. Roger A. Hang on for 1 second. I gotta find it for the screen share. Give me one. I need to share this. Thank you. Okay. Thank you for your patience. All right, Constance, it's up. You wanted Article 10 only?
Yes, only Article 10, Co-President Green. Councilmember Jones had her hand up prior, so.
All right, I'm sorry. I didn't
No,
see. 'Cause
I
I'm-
just wanted to address the passive aggressiveness of Miss Jewett. And if Miss Jewett, I'm gonna leave my phone number within the text
I was not,
message.
the comment that you heard, with all due respect, had to do with me finding a
Can you let me
ladybug and
finish?
showing it to my granddaughter. I'm just, sometimes
you're
it's
being
not,
passive aggressive.
it's not,
You're
but it's not
passive
intended for you.
aggressive.
Oh, please.
At the appropriate time, you find a ladybug when I abstain. I have the right to
Yes,
abstain.
yes, really, really, really. It's not, I'm
You're
at home.
passive
I'm not
aggressive.
thinking about you.
You need to talk to me offline because you're passive aggressive. And I'm not going to deal with your energy on a council meeting. When people are talking about we need to get the council together, we need to get the energy together. And that starts with you. So if you want to speak to me offline, I'm going to leave my phone number in the texting group chat. Thank you. That was all I needed to get
My
off.
apologies. Point of information. I'm in the middle of cooking dinner. I spotted a ladybug. I left it on speaker so that I could respond to something. I forgot to take it off speaker. I'm human.
You know
Trust
what
and
my
believe.
response
My
to that is,
comments
Ms.
are
Jewett?
definitely not
My
directed at you. They're
response
not.
to that
It's just not.
is, Ms. Jewett, oh, wow. Thank you.
I'm gonna ask that we all take into consideration that we're all human and we're all here and it's late and we all have kids. Some of us got more on them than others, but we all have kids and we all have kids with disabilities or we would not be on this council. So that being said, I am gonna take us into the, let parliamentarian Asidu take us through Article 10.
Sorry.
So we can
Co-President,
proceed with that. Yes.
Co-President Green, I just want to make two remarks. One is there is something in the chat from a parent, and I think all of us should look at it because it speaks to something. So, I just want to apologize to the parent, period, about anything, okay? And the parent is continuing to put stuff in the chat concerning the exchange, all right? Another thing is I cannot see this, and if you can see it clearly, can you please read it?
I can see it clearly, but I can't do that and see the chat at the same time.
No, I'm not talking about you looking at the chat. I said everyone should take a look at the chat when they have a moment.
Okay.
Because the parent has expressed themselves, and this is a business meeting, and the individual cannot express themselves here. That's why I'm saying.
Okay.
About the Article 10, if you could read it, because I cannot see it well. So
Okay.
it would be a difficult thing for me to read right now. You put
Okay.
it up.
Do you want me to enlarge the screen? The type?
I
I'm going to read it anyway, but I'm just saying. Would enlarging the type help?
Yes, if you can do that, that would possibly help me, because right now it's at a point where I really cannot read it. Clearly, it's very small.
All right. One moment. Let me figure out the thing. I don't want to. I'm just glad I got it put up. Hold on. All right. Sorry about that. So it is section, oh Lord. Yeah. It is Article 10,
Yes,
Council Protocols and Members Code of Conduct.
correct.
So section 1 is grievance protocol.
Correct.
Should I read it as is and then put in what the new thing is? The
No,
highlighted?
well, the committee sat down and made all these changes, as is every member has it in the bylaws. So,
Miss
Okay, so just
Green,
read the changes.
excuse me,
So-
Madam Chair.
Yes. Mhm.
Can I ask that you disable the chat because I see something happening there and it needs to be deaded. So if you could disable the chat, please. Thank you.
Should be disabled now. All right. Section 1 grievance protocol. If while doing business, a member of the council feels that she/he, has been mistreated, offended, the member shall bring her or his grievance to the attention of the president/co-president and the council during any working/business meeting under new business. Alleged offended member shall be allowed ample time to present her/his grievance to the council. So it is the obligation of the council to listen to the alleged offended members and work out the issues at hand on the following working/business meeting. The president/co-president shall present remedies implemented to resolve the situation. That is changed from what it was saying before. Okay. Most of it is grammatic anyway. Should the alleged offended member still feel that the issue has not been properly addressed, alleged he has the right to request in writing to the president slash to the president, well, it should be slash co-presidents, but for an intervention from FACE. Any request to FACE shall be originated by the president slash co-president of the council on behalf of any alleged offended member. However, if the alleged offenses and or grievances are from the president slash co-president with no internal resolve, then the alleged offended member can reach out to FACE for a possible resolution and or intervention. As a recourse, the issue can be elevated to the Chancellor's office for possible resolution and or intervention. Section 2, Communications Protocol. All communications on behalf of the council, including media, public speaking, testimonies to elected officials, ex-city council hearings, example, city council hearings, DOE events, online in-person community meetings, DOE meetings and forums, lobby day organizational meetings on behalf of the council shall be done by the president slash co-presidents of the council or a council member designated by the president slash co-presidents. No other type of communication shall be deemed official without prior authorization from the president slash co-presidents and or consensus from the members. Members are required to make it clear when views expressed are their own personal views as opposed to CCD75's agreed upon positions. Any written public statements and or representations from the president slash co-presidents shall be approved by consensus from the members. Section 3, Code of Conduct. Citywide Council for District 75, Code of Conduct. Okay, we're gonna skip that part because it was not, it's implemented and adopted by the Citywide Council for District 75. It is important for every member of CCD 75 to understand that each council member represents the council at all times. Therefore, a code of conduct has been implemented. The code of conduct is intended to give council members a formatted guideline within a limited set of rules. Violation of this conduct will be met with disciplinary action, not excluding recommendation by the council to the chancellor for a possible removal of the offending member. All right, unless otherwise specified, the format for the meetings of the CCD 75 shall be as follows. Only the person presiding slash chairing the meeting has the authority to yield the floor to a member of the council. Each member who has the floor may speak uninterrupted for 2 minutes. All members of the council shall respect the member of the council who has the floor. All other procedural details not specifically mentioned in the CCD 75 bylaws shall be deferred to the Roberts Rules of Order, newly revised. Code of Conduct. Code of Conduct number 1, council members shall not engage in physical, verbal, aggressive, and or abusive behavior, including on all electronic mediums and virtual platforms, current and future. Any offenses from any member of the council against another member of the council, students, parents, participants, and members of the general public shall not be tolerated. Such conduct is grounds for sanctions by a vote of 6 members from the council. If matters cannot be resolved internally amongst the members, any further corrective action will be referred to FACE, then elevated to the chancellor for possible removal. Council members shall be careful in their choice of words, bearing in mind that some language may be hurtful and offensive to others. Offensive language, vulgarities, profanities, and aggressions have no place in our communities and workplace. Council members shall present themselves in a diplomatic, responsible, respectful manner. Council members shall not engage in unethical behavior of any form. Such conduct is proven, if proven under investigation, referred to, it should be referred to the Office of Special Investigations, is grounds for suspension and or possible expulsion from the chancellor. Council members, it struck a lot of stuff out. All right. So actually, I think the council members thing was supposed to be struck out, but it wasn't. Anyway, council members, this is for council members should adhere to the confidentiality of information shared via office, private, DOE emails, postal mail, including all electronic mediums, virtual platforms, direct messages, social media, current and future. All right. And then the rest is stricken until you get to, yeah, that's the rest is stricken. Council member Asidu.
Yes, co-president.
That was the whole of Article 10.
Right. The other ones were taken out for the council members and the audience's benefit because they really do not apply to code of conduct. They more apply to standing rules for members. So we will be working on that. There is going to be a bylaw meeting on the 17th between 4 and 5. I'll be, hopefully I'm waiting for the translated flyer in order to send it out, but I will probably proceed by sending the English flyer. And then when the translation version comes out, I'll forward that out as well. Okay, but it will be January 17th and it's 4 to 6 p.m. and I believe it's Tuesday. Okay. Yeah, so we hope everyone will attend for us to proceed because we do actually need to clean up the whole bylaw. As you saw, some things are not cleaned up. I did prevent a cleaned up version for the members. I sent it to them with grammatical errors and all that corrected. And I will send both out again, this format and the other format. And if members have anything they want to add, because come our calendar meeting, we have to vote on this item. This is being presented and read for a vote. And any members of the public who wish to obtain that, who are not members of our committee, obtain this, the changes in Article 10, please email the council and the council inbox for the bylaws committee, and it will be sent to you. If you wish to make, normally the public comment will be done at the next meeting when it's presented for a vote. So if there are any public comments concerning it and any changes you want made, those you will be given the chance to do that before we vote on it. Thank you. Thank you. That's the whole of the presentation. Co-President Green.
All right, I can take this down now. Yeah.
You can take it down. Are there any questions from the public or, I'm sorry, from the council members first? Are there any questions? No? Thank you. Are there any, actually can't accept questions from the public. I'm sorry, it's a business meeting, but anything can be emailed to the council. And as I said, it'll be up for a vote in our calendar meeting coming up. And there also will be a bylaws meeting itself, the committee that will be going out. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Aceto. All right, next we need to discuss when the dates that the superintendent will be meeting with the entire council. And the dates that are shown here are January 26th, March 7th, and May 2nd, all at 6:30. So I believe all the council members are aware of this because it went back and forth in email. But does anyone have any comments or any addition or? All right, hearing none. We're going on to any additional unfinished business. Does anyone have anything that was from the last or meeting or something that was not addressed and wishes to address it now at this meeting? Go ahead, Mr. Lawrence.
Yes, not to do, keep dragging anything. I know it happened last year, but I don't appreciate a council member who brought my name up in a debate that was going on with somebody else in a public comment. They're not here to defend themselves or, answer the question, but I didn't appreciate that it was a comment made about why my committee have a lot of people. Just for a point of clarification, and I say here tonight, what I do with President Council don't cross over to CCD75. It's two separate bodies. But to use my name and Mr. Spencer's name, okay, and you didn't even come to the meetings last year and downplay us like that, that wasn't cool and respectful at all. So I just say, and I'm sure the recording will be shared out or whatever, but I just say that in the future, if you have a question about how I ran the council, you could call me and ask me. Don't go on a public meeting and assume and pick, oh, they only get a lot of people at the busing committee because his outreach is bigger because of President Council. One thing have nothing to do with the next. I think that's very clear. I'm going to leave that there. But I didn't appreciate that. Okay. And I just leave that there. And I think that we need to get these code of conduct sooner than later because a lot of stuff have been happening. And if we had them in place, a lot of things would have been able to be dismantled. And to the parents here tonight, I apologize for what you had to witness. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Lawrence. Next we have, oh, sorry. Does anyone have any additional, sorry, someone's coming back in. Any additional things they want to take care of today? Before we move on to the next topic? Hearing none. The superintendent's office is asking for 2 members of the council who wish to support and participate in the neurodiversity celebration planning team. I believe it will, don't quote me on it, but I believe that it's going to be within the same month of April, where they usually have the autism awareness celebrations. So they're looking for 2 of our members to be on the planning committee. planning team, sorry. It's a committee, planning team. And again, this is for a neurodiversity celebration. All right. Mr. Lawrence?
Yeah, I like to nominate myself and Miss Joanne Jones. I think she worked on this. She did one of the committee last before under our leadership, and she did an excellent job.
Okay, Ms. Jones, do you accept the nomination?
Co-President Green and Council Member Shamal, can you just let me know what it's about again?
It is the superintendent, his team, have a neurodiversity celebration that they're planning for. And they want 2 of our members to participate in the planning sessions.
Yeah.
Is this, would it be person or you don't have the particulars?
I'm sorry, say again?
Is it virtual or it's in person?
Usually they're virtual.
Oh,
Okay.
I'm assuming most of it is virtual, but I'm not gonna guarantee that only because I did not have I heard about it, but I did not have an in-depth conversation with his office about it. So but
Okay.
they did
I
ask
think
for us
most of it
to-
is virtual.
Yeah.
Okay, second question, Councilmember Chanel. Is this planning, does it extend beyond June? Or it's just like she said in the months of April?
No, it's not me this and that months there. It's like around with autism in that month. It may
Oh,
go to
yeah,
like the end of April. Yeah, or
Okay,
May.
with Autism Awareness Month.
Yeah.
Okay, no problem. I can handle that. Thank you. Thank you for the nomination. I accept. I will
Okay.
not.
All right. Do any other council members want to be a part of this or?
I nominate Angel.
Morales or Christie?
Yes, Angel Morales.
Okay. All right, Mr. Morales, do you want to be part of the plan? Do you accept the nomination? That's a better way to put it. Mr. Morales? Councilmember Morales?
He must have muted himself. When
Right.
does the final decision have to be made?
Well, we try to make it tonight because people have to start planning. If the thing is
Okay.
executed in April, you gotta start planning now. So, since you and Mr. Lawrence are on the floor, go ahead, Constance.
Just wanted to ask, is it 2 members or more? That's what I want to ask.
It's only 2 for this.
Yeah, I just wanted clarification. It's 2 members to participate in it, correct?
And the planning committee,
On the planning committee.
not
just-
necessarily in the function itself, but in the planning committee.
And Mr. Lawrence, you nominated Ms. Jones with yourself or Ms. Jones so she can nominate Mr. Morales with herself? I just want to understand. I'm sorry, I stepped away, so I'm not sure.
No, it was done as nominate myself and her.
Okay.
But if she want to give it to Angel and he
Oh,
accept,
no,
I
no,
have
no.
no
I thought it
problem with
was-
stepping aside.
No, my apologies. I thought it was.
No, it's no problem.
No,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
can definitely, I like partnering with you, especially with the busing committee. So we work well together, so I don't mind. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you for the
No problem.
nomination.
Okay, so,
Thank
Do
you
you
for
wanna
the
get-
clarification.
do we have to get a roll call, Constance? Or no?
You know, ask if anyone abstains, anyone.
Okay, so a blanket, all right.
No, really, you don't have to.
All right, so,
Requires it here.
Mr. Lawrence and Ms. Jones, both CCD council members have 25 council members have volunteered to participate in the neurodiversity celebration planning committee that the superintendent, his office, his team is heading. So do I hear any abstentions or objection? All right, hearing none. Congratulations, Mr. Lawrence. Congratulations, Ms. Jones. To all of the two that are moving forward on Neurodiversity Committee, Neurodiversity Planning Team. Gotta get it right. Neurodiversity Planning Team.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks, everybody, for the opportunity.
1 second, I just want to make sure I write down everything. All right, so, is there any other new, business? And are there any items that people would like to see on the next, I was gonna say, possibly on the next meeting and or on future agendas? Now is the time to ask, so we can contact and see if we can get presentations on that, whatever that topic.
This quick question, did we ever schedule a date for the special meeting? I'm not for sure if we did.
No, that's what we're supposed to be trying to do, tonight.
Okay. And I know that you said the AA was gonna be moved to the special meeting, correct?
Well, the AA can be tonight.
Oh, it's gonna be done
As-
tonight. Okay.
And that can be
All
done
right.
tonight, because you
The
just gotta
vote-
put it
the
back
vote
on the
is gonna-
agenda. Yeah.
The
you can
vote
just
is
put it
gonna
back
be
on the
done
agenda.
tonight. Okay.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so there was an couple of additional things I want to.
Constant have a hand up if you don't.
Go ahead,
see it, Ms.
Constance.
Green.
Just one clarification again, Co-President Green. The AA, since I'm co-chair with Ms. Stewart on the Bylaws Committee, we are not voting in an AA today. We are voting in 4 top choices. We are deciding on 4 people. We're going to
Yes,
present
we are narrowing down.
to 4 people. We are not doing the vote itself, because that would mean that we are going to choose the individual today.
All right.
Okay?
So, all right, so fair enough. We
No,
are.
I'm just asking. I'm asking. I'm not, yeah, I'm
No,
just
we can
asking.
narrow, we can narrow it down. We can narrow it down. This
Uh,
way we
I
don't have
just,
9 people waiting, so to speak. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? I think we should narrow it down to 5 maybe. And the only reason I keep saying more is that I've been there, done that, had this experience, and had like 3 different people we voted on, and then it turned out somebody else enticed them to another council. So, you know, one at the end for somebody to actually physically still be there.
Yeah.
That can do the job and has had the qualifications.
okay.
All right. So Ms. Green, so I just gotta get clarification because Constant just raised a very good thing. So we just gonna narrow it down tonight. So the vote will be at the special meeting. That's what I
Correct.
was asking.
Correct.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
And so maybe that's one of the things we should do, because I did ask for us to add to the agenda, sorry, as an agenda topic, the, suggestions for dates for the special meeting. And so we can work around times, but suggestions for at least dates, because we want as many council members as possible to be able to be there. And it will be virtual once it is before January 20th. To make it easier for everyone, because I realize it's January, it's hard. We just all came back.
Well, I will make a motion that we have it next week, Wednesday, if that's good for everybody else, because we got so much to cover. We doing the AA vote, and I think we doing something around with the presentation or something that have to be done, if I'm correct. So I would say sooner than
Oh,
better.
no, next
later.
week, Wednesday is not the thing. The presentation, I think, is the 18th.
18. But
Yeah,
wasn't it something else we had to do that you were saying crunch time or something?
yeah, 1 second, let me look and see what the date that is. Oh, the 13th. The 13th, we have to have our top 5 in
So,
for capital
so
plan.
yeah, I would say let's try to do the 11th. Therefore, we can have this knocked out. Therefore, we can vote on the AA and have our top 5 because, anything else, we kind of knocking it close.
Okay.
Just my opinion. I'm not speaking for the council.
No, I understand.
Yeah.
Does anyone have an objection to perhaps having a special meeting where we vote on the AA, among other things, and try to get rid of some of the business meeting stuff that we did not cover in the last 2 meetings, pushed onto that agenda? Anything that we still didn't take care of, pushed onto that agenda. Constance, you wanted to say? Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I keep raising. I just wanted to state, we are doing this next Wednesday. Do we know if that is a good time for a lot of council members to join? That's just my question. We're going to take care of these items.
So let's propose the date, and perhaps let's propose that date first. And
Okay.
maybe in the email, the same email, we can ask that dates that based on their availability. And what can get the most, what we'll have to use. But I like the consistency of doing Wednesday.
Okay. So we're going to propose Wednesday.
We're going to propose Wednesday, the 11th. Mr. Lawrence has already proposed Wednesday, the 11th.
With a vote, because once we propose as the date and we vote on it, that's the date we have to have the meeting. This is where that's why I'm
Go with
asking
that.
the question. If it does not suit 6 people in the end, what are we going to do? We're not.
All right, so let's just keep it right now as a proposed date, and we will propose a couple more dates and emails. People, council can
Right. Okay.
say I'm available for this or I'm not available for that.
Yeah. All right. Because it is the special meeting. Okay. I understand you. Thank you. Just want to be clear.
Okay, so I will write an email and try to gather. Because some of the people that asked for a special meeting are not even on right now. So it does make sense to get their. Lawrence, go ahead.
Yeah, reason I was saying for the 11th is because I know that there's committee meetings too, and that seems to be the only available day before the 13th. Anything else, we might be chancing it for the SCA thing. Even if we just got on the hand of that business, I think we need to try to get that done within, sooner than later, because that's something important. The SCA, 5 on selection. So I think we should try to leave here tonight with a date. We have 6 members. We have quorum here. If us who's here tonight could commit to that, at least we know we could take care of the 5 selection. You know what I'm saying?
All right, so
I just don't want to lose out on those 5 picks. You know what I'm saying?
I get you. So
yeah.
The proposed date is Wednesday, the 11th. Do all the council members on this particular venue right now have any opposition to it being Wednesday, the 11th? And the proviso is that we are able to get 6 people because we can't vote without it anyway. Go ahead, Councilmember Jones.
Angel is no longer on the call.
What?
Oh,
He dropped
wow.
it.
I didn't even see that. Yeah, he's not. Yeah, we actually not in quorum.
Okay.
We only have 5.
Okay.
Thanks, Ms. Jones.
Thank you for making us aware, Ms.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Co-President Green, council members, sorry to interrupt. We actually are still in quorum. There's 6 members here, just to say. Thank you. So you're aware.
Really?
Yeah, we are. Yep.
Okay. Well, no, we're not.
No, we're not.
Oh, we're
But-
not.
Yeah, Miss Jones just dropped off,
Uh-huh.
so it's not 6.
Oh, she's coming
He
back in.
was.
She's coming back.
Okay.
Mhm. She's been,
Councilmember Jones?
the audio is clicking now. It's connecting now. Go ahead, Council.
Yes, I'm here. I'm so sorry.
Okay.
I
No.
forgot to call.
Yeah, I counted you, then didn't see you. So I saw you coming back in. Had to let you in. Okay.
No problem. Thank you.
No, thank you.
Okay, no, but we're still in quorum. You make 6, Councilmember Jones. So, I'm gonna go ahead and suggest that this be the proposed date be, Wednesday, the 11th. And that we gather, in the email, if we cannot get 6 people, we gather more dates to try to get it done before the 13th. Does anyone have an objection to that or have another suggestion?
Well, I'm looking at the calendar right now. It would have to be, it could either be Monday, Wednesday,
Mhm.
and that's it, because the 12th, we have a joint public hearing. Apparently that just popped up in my calendar. I see it here. We have a JPH on Thursday. So it couldn't be Thursday. So the only dates we open with are Monday and Wednesday before the 13th. So it will have to be one or the other.
All right, so the 11th will remain the proposed date. Like I said, I'll send out an email. People could say if we'll find out if 6 people can show, because at minimum we need at least 6 people to vote. I'm hoping that everybody can show, because it's better, you get more input. So we can narrow down and when we do it that way, it's a lot faster when you have everybody. But we do need to move on these young ladies. And again, there's at minimum 8 councils that are still looking. So, and I'm sure they're still interviewing the same pool of candidates. All right, so Constance, you have your hand up still?
No, I was just asking, do you need a motion? Because, so we can move on to the next item.
All right, so let's do a motion.
So would the motion be that we're going to hold a special meeting on the primary date being Wednesday, January 11th, alternative dates, Monday, the 9th, or Tuesday, the 10th?
I don't know, the 10th has a bad ring. But like it rings like something we
Yeah, well, it's a Tuesday, just so you're aware. It's a Tuesday. The following Tuesday is the bylaws committee meeting, so I'm well aware of it. So if there's a problem.
But I don't know what it is, but something's happening on the 10th. But it's okay. It's okay. We'll figure it out.
Okay, so I'll just put them as alternatives in the motion. Is that
Yes.
fine?
Yes.
Okay. Secretary Montavon, do I need to clarify the motion for you again? Or no?
I just have to hold a special meeting on January 12th with the alternate date being the 9th. Is that correct?
Nope. January 11th
11th is the
is the
Wednesday.
primary date. Wednesday, January 11th.
Right.
Primary date.
I have a special
And
meeting on the 11th with the alternate date.
11th or the 9th would be the alternate.
Okay.
Yeah. As he said.
So it's for the purposes of the vote on the AA. And for, I don't even remember what the other special meeting reasons were, but whatever the council members had asked for a special meeting, add to that meeting. All right, so are you ready?
Oh, need a second, sorry.
I'm
Co-president.
sorry. So it was proposed by you, Constance, or someone else?
The motion is mine, Co-President Green.
Okay. Can I get a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Ms. Montalban.
Are we ready to vote?
Definitely. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Shamel Lawrence,
Come back to Mr. Lawrence because it looks like his stuff, something is going on.
okay, Miss Christie Montalban, yes. Is Angel still offline?
I believe, yes, yes. Mhm.
Okay, Miss Joanne Jones,
Yes.
Miss Celia Green,
Yes,
Miss Constance Acedo,
Yes.
Miss Patricia Jewett.
Yes.
Mr. Lawrence, are you able to vote?
Yes, yes, yes.
thank you.
Okay, I have 6 votes for yes, the motion has passed.
Thank you very much.
Wow, so they canceled, but they having the other one, right?
Okay.
The
Mr.
this.
Mr. Lawrence, you have to. And make sure everything is off the. All right. I also think, sorry. I wrote it down before. 1 second. Oh, sorry. I wanted to address, although it's controversial, but I wanted to address public comment and the protocol for that and the protocol for visits. Public comments is usually somewhere between 1.5 minutes to 2 minutes, depending on how many people we have lined up for public comments, and that's usually during a calendar meeting. Am I even speak- Yeah, during a calendar meeting. We, as a council in general, we respond to public comment, but mostly we just say thank you for your input. And then if it's something that we have to either research or get back to you on, we do that. We do follow up. But usually at the time of public comment, I realized that recently we've had not had a whole lot of the public doing public comment. During public comment, we do not engage other than, let's say, it's a specific issue brought forth and we have an answer right then and there to the specific issue. Other than that, if it's general comment, it goes by kind of thing. Because we want to give as many people as possible the chance to do public comment. Last time we only had one person do public comment, but in general, that is the general rule, no matter whose council you go to. I just wanted to say that so that, you know, what it puts whatever to rest. The other thing is with school visits, the protocol is if we as council members are going anywhere to any school that's within the DOE, what we do is that we do have to notify the principal and we also have to notify the district office. So it's all it means is that you CC the district on it, superintendent's office. So because we do not have an AA right now, because usually this will go through the AA and the AA will CC also like the president or the co-presidents on it. So I did not have an AA on CCHS, and my members, when they had to make an appointment, with high schools, there are about 16 different superintendencies. It's not the same as a specific district. You could have a school that has 4 different schools in it and have the possibility of it having 4 separate superintendents that are responsible for those 4 separate. So what we would do, and this is a rule of thumb, not just for us, for any CEC and for any citywide, is you will write to the principal an email introducing yourself and saying that you would like to visit, find out from them when it's possible to do so. And make sure that the superintendent and his office is CC'd on it, as well as the council office. It doesn't have to be every council member, but it does have to be either in the inbox or CC to the president, the co-president, somebody and stuff. That is the protocol throughout the DOE for CEC specifically and for citywides. So I just wanted to go through that. One of the things too I regret is that we had started I think it was last year, last term, part of the term, the first part of the term. Originally we wanted to do some trainings and stuff, and we had gotten so much pushback from 1 or 2 of the members because I think people are of the impression that FACE is supposed to do this magnificent training and, you know, for everybody who comes in and all this thing. It's impossible to do a really major training for orientation. It just is. There is only but so many hours you can keep people getting it for orientation that FACE does. FACE is kind enough these days that at least they do the orientation maybe 2 or 3 other times during the year, because sometimes people are not able to make it to the orientation date that's back in June. So I'm grateful for that. But there's a lot of trainings that they were not able to do within the last 2 years based on maybe lack of personnel. COVID also helped them shed a lot of personnel as well, as it did everywhere else. And it would be good if we could reinstitute to do some of those trainings, because the book that you all, as the newer members anyway of the council, got is very different to the information that the older members of the council had, because we had a larger book that was filled with a whole lot more things. You get the book that you got for orientation this year sort of looked like a pamphlet compared to what we got. So there is a lot of things that are written in the law. There's a lot of things that are written as chancellor's regulations. There's a lot of things that are state regulations and stuff. So, and we are now, for all its intensive purposes, a state body. So we do have to follow the regulations and stuff. I'm glad that people on this council rallied for that. Mr. Lawrence was one of those people, Mr. Spencer, Stewart, Mr. Seju, like all these different people. There's a lot of different people. There's some people that aren't even on the council anymore that really pushed get it in state law and get it to be a council. So I really want for people to realize that this is a good opportunity, you know, to help represent and the parents and the families and the students of D75. But there are protocols, there are things. A lot of this stuff is not personal. And I get it if some people don't know and some people know, but whatever, I'm not even going into that. I'm going into, it would be nice to have something would help unify and stuff. And if people have questions, they can ask. I don't think anybody here doesn't want to help other people to know why and what the thought is behind it and how things go and stuff. It doesn't mean that everything that goes is the right thing, but anything that's not right, we as a council can try to change. You know, and that's one of the things that, you know, we're working towards. So hopefully we all are working towards and stuff, because when we do pull together, there were some really great sessions, especially on the hiring committee, although we can't speak about that in general. The hiring committee worked really well together. You know, a lot of the members participated. They contributed greatly And I'm just really happy that we were able to do that. But it also proves to me that this council is very capable of working together, for a common goal. So I would really, and I'm saying this as a mother who is a D75 mother 4 times over. All right. So yes, I'm gonna talk about the past a little bit because I have been here since in this district, not in a council, but in this district since 1994. I've seen it, seen parents come and go and whatnot. So to step up to do this and to try to represent the parents and families here is a privilege. It really is, to help people to navigate and to get accurate information. That's the things that we're supposed to be doing and we're supposed to be on top of. So it's not, when things are a disagreement, it is not necessarily always personal. But we do have certain protocols we gotta fall within. We do have certain parameters we gotta work. It is not, again, personal. Nobody should be taking it like it's a chip on, well, you didn't like my idea, you didn't like this. It's not that. It is a vote of 6. And if it doesn't have a vote of 6, it can't actually happen. So I'm just saying that to reiterate that, this is a council with people who are very talented and I know can do well, and I know can work well together. So I'm asking for people to be patient with each other the same way you want someone to have patience with our kids and stuff. Have patience with the other person too, because we don't know what people are going through. We don't. All right, that being said, I'm going to move on to the last item, I think. Oh, what I did want to suggest is that the roll call list be alphabetized. If you have no objection, Ms. Montalban. I'll send it to you alphabetized because I did it when we had the last meeting. I alphabetized it because that's how most of the most of the councils do it. And stuff alphabetized by last name, just in general, like how you do school kids or whatever. It's just last names first or whatever. So I can actually ask for someone to propose a motion for that. Am I muted? No, I'm not. Would any council member like to propose a motion for that?
I move that we make the roll call alphabet order.
Alphabetic order. Okay, thank you. Can I get a second?
I second standard rules of practice. Thank you. Did you hear me?
Yeah, it was moved by Councilmember Lawrence. Seconded by Councilmember Acedio.
Just want to be clear, you will be making the new forms and emailing them to me, correct?
That is correct.
Okay. Are we ready to vote?
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, we are voting on the motion to make the roll call list alphabetical. Mr. Shamel Lawrence,
Mr.
I
Lawrence?
hit you. Yeah.
okay, Miss Christy Montalban, yes. Miss Joanne Jones,
Yes.
Miss Celia Green,
Yes.
Miss Constance Acedo,
Yes.
and Miss Patricia Jewett.
Ms. Jewett?
Yeah, I'm just trying to unmute myself. Yes. Thank you very much for your patience.
Okay,
Thank
we have
you.
6 votes for yes, the motion has passed.
Thank you very much, Ms. Montavon. Okay, give me a second, because I'm writing down as I'm. All right. All right, so I think that actually brings us to the end of the agenda so that we can go into executive session if desire to narrow down the candidates. Hang on. All right, I'm gonna ask this before we do that. Does any member have any issues or concerns that they want to bring up now, before we go into executive session? Or before we propose executives? All right, hearing none.
Sorry, can't raise my hand. What I wanted to ask, Co-President Green, sorry to interrupt you. My apologies. Are you asking about issues or concerns that we want to discuss in executive session? That's all I wanted to ask, to add on to the AA conversation.
Actually asking,
Is that the
anything for
issues and
discussion?
concerns? Other items we're going to discuss in
Yeah,
executive?
any other items they want to discuss in the public, before we go into executive session? If
So this
not,
is not specifically about discussions in executive session besides
No.
the AA now. Okay,
No.
but other things can be proposed if
yes.
any member wants it. Okay, thank you.
Anyone have anything else? Okay. So, someone want to make a proposal then to go into executive session and then go from there? For the purpose of narrowing down the AA candidates.
I move that we go into a executive session for the purpose to discuss the AA narrowing down procedure.
Don't need a second.
Okay, who's seconding?
I believe executive session does not have to be seconded, Co-President Green. It's a request of any member. We have to go to a vote to see if the other members agree. Once a member.
Okay. Okay. Mhm. All right, so, just a note to the public. The public is not allowed in executive session, so what we will do, we will not close the meeting, but we will, go into a breakout room to discuss what we have to discuss. Okay, so Ms. Montavon, on that note, can you take a roll?
Yes, we are voting now to move to executive session for the purpose of discussing narrowing down the AA candidates.
Mhm.
Mr. Shamel Lawrence, Mr. Lawrence,
Oh, sorry, I'm driving. Yes.
Ms. Christy Montavon, yes. Ms. Joanne Jones,
Yes.
Ms. Celia Green,
Yes,
Ms. Constance Acedu,
Yes.
and Ms. Patricia Jewett.
Yes.
Okay, we have 6 votes for yes. The motion has passed to move to executive session.
okay. Give me 1 second, because I have to create a breakout room and give Jose the host.
Miss Green, if I drop off, just let me back in. I'm going underneath our area that,
Yeah,
serves-
Mike. Yeah, I have a problem. Okay.
Okay.
1 second. Created a breakout room with sign. Oh, it is. Mhm. Only one room. Mhm. Okay. Um. Mr. Gonzalez, can I give you hosting so I can go into, so I can be put into the room?
Yes, you can do that.
Okay. Okay, you should now be the host, Mr. Gonzalez. Can you send me to the breakout room?
Celia, did you give a name for the room?
No,
'Cause I'm not able to see. Oh, it's in the waiting room?
no, it should be in the waiting room. It should be in the,
Uh, I'm not, probably because I'm using my phone. I'm not able to see it.
to see it. Oh, 1 second.
Uh-huh.
Pass me back to host for a second. Let me see what's going
Yeah,
on.
sure. Yeah. All right.
I'm still not in the breakout, Mr. Gonzalez.
See, I'm trying to join by the browser, so I
Uh-huh.
can probably be able, just a moment.
All right, I'll hold on.
No, see that for some reason, because I'm using my phone, I'm not, I'm not seeing the other one.
I'm sorry, Jose. I was talking to you, but I was muted. Do you want me do you want to bring them back out of that room and then create a room and put us all in? Would that be easier?
No, just give me 1 second.
Okay.
Celia.
I'm sorry, yes, Mr. Gonzalez?
Yes, just give me 3 more minutes.
No problem. Mr. Gonzalez, do we need to bring them back out and then have you recreate the room?
Celia,
Uh-huh.
one of my colleagues, she's gonna join us on a computer so she can do that for me because I'm on the phone.
All right, no problem. No
Yeah,
problem.
just give me just 1 second. She's signing in right now.
Okay.
Thanks. Celia.
Yes, Mr. Yes, Mr. Gonzalez.
Yes, my apologies. She's here. And can you give her? Let me see if I can give her the
Host. You should be
host.
able to.
Yeah, got it. Maribel, can you send Celia to the breakout room?
Okay.
Thank you.
And Maribel, you have the host, so don't leave. Okay.
Okay.
Thanks. All right. Cheers. Thank you, Maribel. Um, let me. I'll call me when you have a chance. Okay.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Gonzalez. We have returned.
No problem, see, Ms. Green. Thank you so much.
Thank you, and thank you to your coworker who I don't see on right now, but thank you for her. Because hazard pay, overtime pay, just for that, for sure.
Thanks.
right,
I'm gonna make you a call the host right now.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Green.
You're welcome. Okie dokie. All right, so I think
Rain, you might want to close the breakout room for Miss Jewett could come back in. I don't think she switched over. She was still there.
okay. Okay,
Did we lose Co-President Green?
I believe so.
Yeah, I don't see her. Okay, and Miss Jewett still isn't back out of the room either.
Nah, the breakup room is still open.
Yeah, okay.
Fine.
Okay. Co-President Green is back. Okay.
yeah, let me work on getting Councilmember Jewett back. Hold on.
Okay, thank you. Sorry, extreme.
Yeah, hang on for a second because now I don't see her listed at all. Hold on. Okay, Miss Jewett is back. All right. Okay, so we have gotten to the end of our agenda and stuff. We have narrowed down our candidates for the hiring committee for the AAs. And we are going to propose dates for the special meeting. If we cannot get enough people for the 11th. With that being said, our next meeting for CCD 75, apart from committee meetings, we have 2 committee meetings on the 17th, the busing and the bylaws. On the 18th of January will be our next meeting at 6:30. And it will more than likely be virtual because the suspension of the extension of the suspension of open meetings law is until January the 20th. So that being said, are there any council members that have anything they want to say before we adjourn?
Just want to thank everyone for their patience and Happy New Year to all. Have a good evening. Thank you.
Thank you, council members. And thank you for the audience that was able to hang in there with us. I know it is a long process and we thank you for returning. Okay, so the council members will see you again on January 18th. Thank you so much. Good night and may everyone stay safe.
Motion.
Oh, sorry, motion to adjourn. Forgive me. Motion to adjourn. Can I
Motion.
get-
Motion.
So this motion by Constance. Can I get a second?
I second.
Okay, and it's seconded by Christy Montalban. And is anyone in objection to or anyone abstaining from this motion to adjourn? All right, so we stand officially adjourned at 10:16 p.m. Thank you, everyone, and we will see you soon.
You have to shut off the recording, Co-President Green.
Mhm. Thank
Okay.
you for reminding me.
Yeah, I'm getting off. Thank you. Have a good night.
You're welcome.